believe we're recording. So it looks like we're recording now, right?
Are we recording?
We should be recording.
Okay.
Yeah, we are recording.
We are recording?
We are recording.
Okay.
Is this the fade-in part, though?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sama x Kouhai. I am Schulztie-Sama.
And I'm Kouhai-Sensei.
And today we are going to talk about our best of 2018.
Because there was another best of 2018 that has a lot of stuff that we don't quite agree with.
Not at all. Well, a little bit.
Yeah, some.
But mostly not at all.
Yeah. And where's the lie?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a few producer-chosen categories.
Do we?
Yeah. I would say Mr. Co-Producer Schulztie-Sama picked some of these categories. And Mr. Schultz, as well as I did as well.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to go through these categories and just give you our list of what we thought was like kind of best of for the last year.
Yeah, in each category we're going to have 6 nominees that we painstakingly chose.
It was actually horrible to eliminate some of these top contenders.
Well, actually it wasn't horrible for me to eliminate some of your choices, but that's just me.
That's because you didn't watch some of the shows I watched.
Yeah.
I mean,
where's the lie?
It's easy for you to eliminate something on, based on absolutely no merit.
That is true. All right, so let's jump into it.
Okay.
So, first category, we have Best Girl.
Best Girl. Now, that being said, none of what I'm going to say is in the category. I just want to give some of our honorable mentions of some girls that were okay, but didn't quite make the cut.
Okay.
So we have Harukana from Harukana Receive, Hanako from Asobi Asobase, Chio from Chio School Road, Mikasa from Attack on Titan, Beelzebub from Asmus Beelzebub Likes, and honestly Akane from SSS as Gridman. Wasn't a bad girl.
Yeah, she wasn't too bad. All right, and then what we have for our nominees are, and not in any order, just the nominees that we chose, is Takagi from Takagi-san Master of Teasing, Iroha Igarashi from My First 3D Girlfriend, Mai from Bunny Girl, Rika from SSS Gridman, Irozuka from So Many Colors, and Anzu from Hinamatsuru.
I gotta be honest with you, man.
Well, okay.
There's some good girls on this list.
Let's, alright. So, out of those 6, who is your least favorite?
Well, I mean, it depends on how I'm looking at it. Is it like best girl as in waifu/date material, or best girl as in she makes me feel wholesome and alive again?
Best, I don't know. Well, okay, so I see it as the best personality.
But
Cause that.
See, it's so hard to choose when it's just like one broad spectrum, So best overall personality. I guess it would depend on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I'm kind of an introvert and I need to be drawn out of my shell. I would have to say Takagi, but if I'm just going through life and I'm experiencing life the way it is and I'm kind of like down about stuff, I gotta pick Anzu. And I'd pick Anzu in more situations than Takagi.
How about this? Let's see if we can pick out some negatives about some of these. How about that?
Well, that's not really any fair because Anzu has 0 negatives.
Yeah.
I mean,
she does. That's correct.
I mean, there are no drawbacks to the girl, but like she's 13 and she's so positive, and she's so responsible, and she's so takes responsibility for her actions.
Yes, she is the perfect daughter.
Or perfect little sister.
Or perfect little sister.
Yeah. It's wild. Honestly, yeah, I mean, Rika's great. Mai is really good waifu material.
I thought
Iroha has a heart and shows that you can do something if you try.
Yeah, I guess.
Takagi brings out inner strength. Iruzuka shows that she can learn and become a better person. But, I mean, Anzu just makes me hope again.
Yeah. Anzu makes me believe in hope.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the Anzu that believes in you.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. That's very good. So
now, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to say Anzu on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
for all the rest of the good girls, they were good girls.
They were. Okay, so the other two that I really liked were Rika and Mai. And honestly, before I saw SS Gridman, it was Mai 100%.
Yeah.
But then I saw SS Gridman.
I gotta give Crunchyroll some credit because some of their picks inspired me to actually try a couple of these shows that I had written off. Like Gridman, from beforehand, I was just looking at it. Oh, that's a mecha. It's a really good show. It's like an Ultraman universe show, but it doesn't just center about the robot fights like Power Rangers. Even though you have Power Ranger like robot fights, it's the characters go through development and they go through a lot of different changes. I'm very happy with how well that show was written and how well the characters meshed together.
Yeah, and Rika was absolutely amazing.
Yes. Rika, best friend material.
Yeah. But I think it's gonna have to be Anzu.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Anzu. That second to last episode.
Yeah.
I felt everything Nita felt.
I didn't want Hina to come back either. I feel so bad saying that, but it's just like, you know what? This show could have been so much better, and he would have had so many more vases.
Oh, man.
If he had found Anzu instead of Hina.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Alright, so
Anzu for the win.
Yeah, Anzu.
Let's move on to the cake. Go ahead. Yeah, she would take the cake. Well, she'd pay for the cake.
She would pay for the cake.
Let's move on to the next category. We have Best Boy.
Yes.
And we've got a few nominees here, but first...
we'll go over our honorable mentions. First one is Andro from Chio's School Road.
Yeah.
Doug from Double Decker. Auntie from Girdman. And Romeo from Boarding School Juliet.
Yeah, I picked Ando and Auntie as kind of honorable mentions just because they have really good redemption stories.
Yeah.
So, I kind of like those. But moving on to the actual picks, we narrowed them down from, I guess, like 10 down to another 6. So, just the list from the top, no particular order. We've got Nishikata from Takagi-san, the Master of Teasing. Somakun from Food Wars. Nida from Hina Festival. White Blood Cell from Cells at Work. Goblin Slayer from, can't remember the name of the show.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
And Sakuta Asuzugawa from Bunny Girl Senpai. So, perhaps, what makes a good boy? What makes Best Boy or a good boy? Is it just is it leadership? Is it strong character? Is it devotion to the task?
Again, I'd say personality.
Yeah, personality is certainly a factor. Character development is a factor as well.
I say personality, and then we have one on here that has absolutely zero personality.
Yeah, Sakuta.
Okay, sure, fine. Whatever. Right.
What do you mean?
Okay,
you think Goblin Slayer didn't have a personality? Is that what you're getting at?
He doesn't even have a name.
He doesn't have to have a name.
I don't even remember the name of the show.
It's such a great joke.
Terrible. Okay. All right. So what is your pick? What is okay? What
do I think makes?
What do you think edges out of all of these?
Honestly, I think personality and character development have a lot to do with like Best Boy.
Right.
So while I like Goblin Slayer and I think he was a strong main character, he did just have the one aspect of his personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really see any development. He just kept on doing the same thing.
I mean, he did develop, but it was.
What did he develop? More muscle and more scars?
No, I mean, no. He developed. He did. His character did develop, but it was very slow and very not really too noticeable.
Yeah, it was definitely a slow development because in the beginning we did see him make some very selfish decisions, and towards the middle and end, he took the priestess out to get ice cream, things of that nature, and he brought something to share with his party, as far as like snacks and stuff, and they were sharing stuff. So there was some development there, but it was definitely like pulling teeth, man.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to eliminate Goblin Slayer from the running.
Yeah, I think I agree.
White Blood Cell.
Same thing.
You didn't even watch the show. You watched 10 minutes of the first episode.
Who told you that?
I read your mind.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Well, I guess I only watched 10 minutes of the first episode. However, that doesn't change my mind.
White Blood Cell did. That show were to go on, the relationship and romance between White Blood Cell and Red Blood Cell would have gone on, and they actually went into the backstory on another character with no name, which is, just like Goblin Slayer, but again, slow growth if any. So
no name.
It doesn't have to have a name. It's White Blood Cell.
No name.
Do you name all the cells in your body?
They're all the same.
Oh well. Wow.
Let's see. So I think I'm gonna cut out Nita.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, honestly, I would say he did have a lot of character development.
He did. But I don't think. Okay, so okay.
But I don't think he had a strong personality.
Yeah, I also think about I'm cutting Nishikata too, as well as Nita, because I don't think that they are better than Soma or Sakata.
Honestly, I would rather cut Soma than Nita, because Soma's personality didn't really develop or change at all in this last season.
That's true, but he just had a really good personality.
Yeah, like having a personality where your personality trait is to learn from your past and learn from your mistakes and be positive it's great and all, but like where's the conflict? Where's the struggle that he has to go through?
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking that, he would be easier cut than Nita.
Yeah.
But at that point,
might as well cut Nita.
Might as well cut Nita.
And at that point, might as well cut Nishikata.
Well, I don't know, man. Nishikata, he had character growth. He used the teasing to strengthen himself. He's like, I got to do 3 push-ups for every time I get teased. And he's like, man, I got to do 70 push-ups today. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, he actually did really grow close to Takagi. And he wanted to choose, a seat next to her with, in the last episode. Spoilers.
Yeah, but it's not as good as Sakata.
What kind of character growth did Sakata have, though? What do you mean? He had the only thing he had to do. He went from not really caring, and then he had to go through and solve all the women's problems in his life,
which caused literally the first episode had growth in him. He grew in the first episode,
but then he didn't really do much after that except for solve problems and talk to Science Girl.
Okay, but so also his personality, and I feel like in that show you got to see more of him than you got to see in
any of the girls.
Nishikata.
Yeah. I mean,
we really got to go really in depth in his character in that show.
Yeah, but how in depth are you gonna get with a 9-year-old, right?
Yes, but still, it adds more depth to the character, I think.
That's true. So, best boy, Sakata, yeah. Although he had some competition in that, like, there were a few other characters that did grow. Like, I would say Nida and Nishikata were, like, closer to Sakata than anyone else on the list.
Yeah, true.
So,
True.
cool.
Alright, so Sakata wins Best Boy.
Yeah.
Next category, Best Drama.
Drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Best drama.
Yeah.
So, drama was kind of a short category. We don't really have any runner-ups or honorable mentions.
Nope, not at all. So, our list is Darling in the Franxx, Violet Evergarden, Ancient Magus Bride, Galactic Empire, Arcana Receive, and So Many Colors.
So, right off the bat,
What the?
what the what?
What is Galactic Empire? I don't know what this is. I don't know why it's on here.
Wow.
Why is it on here?
Wow. It's a...
Is that the one with the two guys that are sharing food
What?
in a spaceship?
I mean, while they are in spaceships, and it's plenty of dudes, and also military women as well, it is about the military and court intrigue of two galactic empires at war.
Is that dramatic?
I happen to think so,
Okay.
but
Is it more dramatic than Arcana Receive?
Hurricane receives a story about friendship, and I don't really think there's like close relationships in Galactic Empire. It's more of a drama as far as like an epic drama than it is a personal drama.
Okay.
So
are those two more dramatic than So Many Colors?
no, honestly, So Many Colors is very emotional. It has almost every character that's in it experience some form of character growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well as, overcoming a weakness.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of different romances that bloom in it, through, from the main characters and some side characters.
Yep. Friendships.
Yeah, really good music. Really good world setting, too. But, like, the way that the magic works there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And I think, and also the, when they introduced the colors to the main character for the first time, and honestly, like, every time, the way that they did it was very dramatic.
Yeah.
And it really, I don't know, it pushed that over the edge for me.
Yeah, no, like, the I'd have to say that the use of art and style was integral to how dramatic the show actually was.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you would like a good story that has a pretty very good characters, very kind of believable characters, if you discount the whole time travel and magic thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, they really, the voice actors in Japanese perform very well. Everyone is believable. Like they fit their written characters, or they fit my conception of what these characters might look like. Nobody sounds like an old crone, but is actually drawn as a younger lady. Oh. Well. Hold on just a second. Technical difficulties. Like, how long ago was that?
I don't know.
We keep recording.
We'll keep recording?
Yeah. We are joined now by our royalty free music, courtesy of Argo Fox. Just saying.
Okay.
So, honestly, I mean, there are some good dramas here. I mean, Violet Evergarden was a great drama as well.
Yeah, Violet Evergarden was. Yeah, that was is really good actually. A really good drama.
So, I mean, it's a story of a girl that was raised as a soldier, knowing only the horrors of war, and then the person who she bonded with, basically, during the war, was no longer there when she came out of the hospital. Apparently, he died. So, and then it shows her having to deal with what real life is and trying to explore emotions and what it's like to be humanity.
Yep.
Like to be a human. Delling and the Fran.
Franks, I guess.
It was actiony, but there was also character interaction in it as well.
Oh yeah, there's usually a lot of character interaction.
That's kind of what makes drama.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think it is
As drama-y.
Yeah, I guess if that's a word.
Right.
Which I don't think it is, but as Violet Evergarden. I mean, it wasn't even more dramatic than Ancient Magus Bride.
Really?
But honestly, I think this is really a fight between Violet Evergarden and So Many Colors.
Yeah, I mean, Horror kind of receives a good dramatic story of like friendship and overcoming weakness and stuff.
Yeah, but So Many Colors just did it better.
Oh yeah,
so
a lot better, and they used actually more characters and had different characters growing and developing in different ways.
Yep.
So, and because of that, like the synergy between the characters, I think that So Many Colors wins above Violet Evergarden, just because you really don't see any other character growth aside from the main character in Violet, like you do in So Many Colors.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you.
I think for my pick is definitely going to be So Many Colors, What a Wonderful World. Really good drama. Definitely check it out.
Yep.
So,
Sweet.
Looks like
that's best drama.
Best drama, nice. Looks like our next category is best comedy.
And let's see, we got 5 runner-ups.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are Food Wars, Cells at Work, Bunny Girl Senpai, Double Decker, and As Miss Beelzebub Likes. No,
that one's in.
That one's in. Okay, so it's just Double Decker, Bunny Girl, Cells at Work, and Food Wars.
Yes, as honorable mentions. And the other shows were pretty funny. So, a couple of the shows that I've watched that Schulztie-Sama hasn't watched were Chiyo's School Road and Asobi Asobase. And I gotta be honest with you, both of these shows had me laughing out loud a few times. Asobi Asobase actually had me getting dizzy, but it's more like slapstick comedy than anything else. It's just basically, it's a comedy with no other pretext. Like, these girls are in a club called the Time Wasting Club, right? Mm-hmm. And then Chiyo's School Road is about a girl who just, like, it's her adventures where her imagination takes her on her way walking to school every day. It's not a school drama, it's not a school comedy. She has a friend who sometimes walks to school with her, and then she meets either other classmates or other characters along the way.
Yeah, and the other ones are Takagi-san, Hinamatsuri, Boarding School Juliet, and As Miss Beelzebub Likes. Now, I don't think Boarding School Juliet or As Miss Beelzebub Likes are as funny as the other ones.
Yeah, I was laughing really hard at Takagi-san. Some of the situations that Takagi put Nishikata in.
Yeah.
Nishikata.
But even then, like, I didn't find that as funny as Hinamatsuri.
Yeah, no, Hina Festival was definitely had a lot of funny moments.
Yeah. But
I was laughing pretty hard during that fight scene.
That was pretty great.
Yeah.
That was a pretty great fight scene.
Yeah.
But my pick, to be completely honest with you, would be Asobi Asobase.
That was in one of my top 3, yeah. Like, my top 3 were Boarding School Juliet, Chiyo's School Road, and Asobi Asobase. And I gotta say, I laughed the most from Asobi Asobase out of those 3.
Yeah, I think it's just the style of humor.
Yeah.
Because I actually watched like 4 episodes of it, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I did really enjoy it. It was actually very funny.
Yeah. The Mahjong explanation in particular it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil it, but the mahjong gets brought up in one episode, and you're like, why did the one girl really not want to play mahjong? And then the next episode, it explains the character that told her what mahjong was and what happened.
Oh, nice.
And you're like, oh. So it's you can watch them separately. I watched the episode each week as it came out, but they also do reference some previous episodes as well. So if your memory is a little bit poor, you might want to consider marathoning this one because of the references.
All right. So yeah, best comedy, Asobi Sobase?
Asobi Sobase, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Next up is best action.
Action. All right, so there are a few runners up for action here, and we're going to mention some of these that are actually good actions that didn't quite make the cut of 6 for us, but action, I think, is one of the most stacked categories. I think it has the most to choose from.
Yeah.
So there's going to be more people disappointed than agree. But that's, hey, different strokes for different folks. So some of the actions that didn't quite make the cut, but were still pretty good for honorable mentions, were Double Decker, Doug and Kirill, SSSS Gridman, The Seven Deadly Sins, Overlord 3rd Season, and I think that's all that is were in the honorable mentions.
Yeah. So I was pretty sad to see Gridman go, but it didn't have enough. It didn't have as much action as the other ones that actually made it. And the ones that actually made it were Black Clover, Outcast 2, Sword Art Online, GGO, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan 3, and Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer?
Goblins.
Did that even have any action in it?
I don't even know why it's in this category.
In episode 11?
I don't even know why it's in this category.
It actually had an entire episode where there was no action. Like, nobody died in episode 11.
You're right.
Yeah.
And also, nobody died when you were looking through a canary's eye for 30 seconds.
I died a little inside.
That is true. I did that, yeah.
So, yeah, no, that was, like, honestly, if you're talking action anime for 2018, Goblin Slayer is definitely deserving of at least, a high mention, if not,
I mean,
one of the tops.
It wins. I think it wins.
You think it wins?
I think it wins.
Come on, let's discuss some of the other stuff.
Okay, fine.
Just like, we can't just like say this flat out wins without discussing some of the merits of this competitors.
Okay, change my mind.
Wait, change your mind. Well, tell me about Black Clover, because I didn't watch it. Yeah, because I hear you and gentlemen talking about Black Clover and how the animation is great during a fight, but then it drops to like 4 frames other times.
I guess it does. I mean, it's an ongoing. It's one of those ongoing shows, so
right.
They have to pick and choose what gets animated better. I mean, that one fight scene though was actually really, really well done.
That one fight scene, okay.
It was really well done.
Was it imaginative?
What?
Like, all right, so you take for example, one of the most imaginative series that's been out here recently has been My Hero Academia. You have a lot of non-classic superpowers in this show,
right?
And so, because you have a lot of non-classic superpowers, you have a lot. You have some interesting use cases and some interesting scenarios where they do well or do poorly, versus like a lot of traditional Western superpowers where, a lot of things boil down to herder, extra strength, herder, extra toughness.
Okay.
So, My Hero Academia has people that aren't necessarily super strong, but can do other things. So they have to use their imagination to use their power to solve different problems.
Let's. I'm gonna dumb this down so that
I can understand. I see how it is. Wow. I'm so
Black Clover.
Assaulted.
Listen, Black Clover. I would consider it the new fairy tale.
That's high praise.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It is. It's not. Honestly, I don't think it's as good as fairy tale, but it is very similar into how fairy tale operates.
So you have some exposition, you have some character development, growth time, you have some friendship, and then they go on travel and they have battles.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I can dig it.
Yep, that's basically it.
No, do they have?
And also, there are some pretty overpowered abilities. Like, was it the Wizard King or whatever he's called? His ability is basically to control time.
Like stopping
That's like his magic.
I mean, that's.
And the way that. Is it control time? I don't actually know, but he's able to wipe people out of existence. Is what he's able to do.
That sounds like it's like universe breaking.
It's pretty intense.
It's like almost Thanos type levels of power.
Yeah.
Just for the record, Thanos did nothing wrong.
Yes. But,
so we have overbroken power, Black Clover. Outcast 2. Tell me about Outcast 2.
It's martial arts. It's martial arts action.
Like Dragon Ball Z martial arts or like Baka the Grapple martial arts? Baka the
Neither.
Grapple. I mean neither.
Neither? Have you seen
the Animatrix?
Kenichi?
What's?
Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. I think it's not quite like that, not as good as that, but it's martial arts like that.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, I guess it's more... I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be in here. I don't know.
Is it more superpower martial arts?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, as long as there's plenty of action, then it would.
There's a lot of action, like overpowered.
Deserve to be here. That's fine. So, Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online.
So, tell me how that is better than Goblin Slayer.
Just like Goblin Slayer.
Okay.
It has somebody dying or simulated death.
Right.
In nearly every episode.
Okay.
So the premise is, you're in online shooters and...
Do they get killed by goblins?
I mean, there was that one troop of like cheerleaders. Their characters in real life, their characters in the game look like goblins. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
Were they goblins?
They were almost goblins.
Were they goblins?
They were dressed in green.
Were they goblins?
Were they?
All right, crossing off SAO.
Whoa, buddy, that's a little soon. Just because they're not goblins. No, SAO GGO was really good, but I don't think it and it's worthy of being, I think, in the top 6, but I don't think it wins. So I'm gonna cross that off as well. But it is shooting and tactics, using various different teams
and guns. Do they use
guns?
guns?
It's all guns.
Yeah,
all the time.
They have different guns.
Well, they all shoot the bullets.
Does one of them use a sword?
No, there are no swords.
Oh.
No swords, and that's why it's Sword Art Online
Why
Alternative.
is it called Sword Art Online again?
Same universe, I guess.
Sure.
So, anyway, still a good show. All right, well, tell me how Goblin Slayer is better than Attack on Titan 3.
Well,
that's a deep subject.
I thought you were convincing me.
Why would I convince you? Attack on Titan 3 was great.
Okay, so...
Goblin Slayer had goblin deaths and blood and gore.
Yeah, it had a lot of action.
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
Did...
And everything except for episode 11.
Attack on Titan 3 have a lot of action?
It actually had a lot of tension.
It had a lot of tension.
There were episodes with action in them. Not every episode had action in it.
They put a lot of tension on those grappling equipments.
They did, and that's action-y. Mm-hmm. Especially when they have to fight titans.
Now, I'm not going to lie, the fight scene between that one captain and then that other group of...
the people working for the government.
Yeah. That...
was epic.
That was very good.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah, they certainly did get very imaginative when they... I don't want to say choreographed the fights, but when they storyboarded the fights.
Right, yeah.
So it was definitely well done, and I think it also deserves to be in the top.
Yeah, but honestly, that's the only part that I remember that was
Yeah, well,
like jam packed.
no, you're right. I mean, they moved the story along. They moved the story along a lot. You had characters that were some were betraying others. You had to move the politics forward in order to get to the action sequences. So it wasn't as actiony as some other actions, but it was this season in particular was a lot more story.
Right.
Season 1 of Attack on Titan was full of a lot more action, but you had the introduction of whatever that world is, and things were happening like immediately, including there was action even during training.
Yeah.
So because Attack on Titan 3 doesn't have as action as other series also this season, not even living up to the amount of action they've had previously in their own series, I'm gonna have to cross them off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's able to edge out above My Hero Academia at all.
Yeah, so I guess we're kind of down to My Hero Academia and Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, did we cross off Black Clover? Did I not convince you enough?
Did you not convince me enough?
Yeah.
Well, you told me about it, and you said it was actiony. But if you're comparing it to like the same kind of setup as Fairy Tail, where there are episodes of friendship building and character development, and then they have an arc where they go off and have adventures, and there's action during the adventures.
But
then it doesn't seem like it has as much action as It doesn't seem like it has as much action as Attack on Titan.
But hold on, it also you get that feel. So it does the same thing that happens with Natsu when they play that music.
Does he get fired up? Is he gonna fire in his belly?
Basically, it's the same thing, and it works. It's amazing. I don't know. You probably would have to see it, but okay, I'll cross it off. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's still really good.
it's still Hero Aka
And Goblin Slayer.
versus Goblin Slayer, and so aside from the Canary, were there any other notable fight scenes in Goblin Slayer? I mean,
Okay. Well, first off, let's do this. How about this? You're trying to change my mind. So,
why would I change your mind?
in My Hero Academia,
Uh-huh.
are there any more notable fight scenes other than All Might versus
All for One?
All for One?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, name it.
Go.
Go.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy.
Ready, go.
Deku versus the muscle guy. As if I would let you kill him.
What else?
What else? The fight scenes when they're out in the woods, when they get ambushed when they're at the training camp. There's lots of other smaller fight scenes that are actually really well done.
What else?
What else? Then you had some exposition, and then you had the build up towards the fight with All Might and All for One. I mean, it was only, what was it, like this for 2018? It was only the second half of the third season, so it wasn't even a full 24, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a full 24.
Was it a full 24?
Pretty sure.
Well, then I'm not remembering. Well, or yeah, All Might versus the Numus, because that was also. No, it wasn't All Might versus the Numus. The second hero. Endeavor. And Endeavor versus the Numus. No, that was at the end of the first arc where.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you're right. There's a lot of character building in that one.
So, okay, so with Goblin Slayer, we had.
Less character building. Goblins.
Okay, let's see. So the first episode.
What happened in the first episode?
That was pretty intense.
Whoa, what do you mean?
That was an intense episode.
How was it intense? You had a bunch of kids entering a cave. Goblin Slayer comes in and slays goblins, saves them. Saves some of them.
Yeah. And then you also had, was it the first time he went on an adventure with Priestess?
Yeah. Yeah, she almost died.
Mm-hmm.
He should have never chosen a weak partner. He's silver ranked.
I guess.
You should only go with other silvers. It takes 4 silvers to carry that one ceramic ranked girl.
Let's see, and then some notable fight scenes was Versus the ogre? Was it ogre?
Yeah, there was ogre. There was a goblin lord. No, it was a hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
There was...
In which Goblin Slayer got wrecked.
He didn't get wrecked. But it was good. It was
You know, and there was another pretty epic fight scene where they're in the sewers underneath of that one town, in which Goblin Slayer got wrecked.
Sure.
And
there was also... that was the one with the mirror, right? No, that was the second time they went back there.
that was the second time we went back there. The first time, well, yeah, he got wrecked, and then he had to, like... Not only did they have to, like, save his life by having him sleep in a bed naked with a virgin, he was so bad off. They had to bring him back to life by having him sleeping naked in a bed with 2 virgins.
Okay.
2 virgins.
Okay.
To save his life.
Okay.
He got wrecked that bad.
Okay. What about
the fact that when they got up, they were still virgins?
what about the Goblin King?
There's no action. Goblin King? Did he get wrecked on that?
No. Kind of. No.
No. But the priestess really took care of him the most.
Yeah.
With her force shields.
Yeah.
That
was pretty awesome.
Goblin King got wrecked.
That was pretty awesome.
So,
And honestly, that whole last 2 episodes where they're all fighting, or they're fighting all those goblins, like, that was really good. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see more of those characters throughout the beginning of the show.
It was climactic. It was climactic for a 12-episode season or 13-episode season. It's not like the last 2 episodes didn't give you exactly what you were asking for and what you expected. You could say the same thing for the end of this last season of Hero Akada. That fight was... I got emotional during that fight. With the United States of Smash.
Oh my god.
Are you...
Alright, fine. No. Okay. I knew you were going to bring that up, and...
You know what, though?
That was my kryptonite.
I think Goblin Slayer still wins, though.
You think so?
Yeah, because Goblin Slayer... In that fight, dude, All Might got wrecked. He can't even be All Might anymore. And then Deku keeps getting wrecked every fight he gets in.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Too much in the future? Well, I mean, My Hero Academia didn't piss any SJWs off, so it might get a chance to continue.
That is true.
So, I hope we get more Goblin Slayer, and we have more Goblin Rape. Just because I want to make some people mad.
Whoa. Alright, so...
Well, as long as the goblins die at the end.
So
it's not like
action.
you get done knocked up.
Best action.
Best action? Goblin Slayer.
Hey, look, it's...
Runner-up?
Exactly what I said.
My Hero Academia.
Alright.
So, moving on to the next category. We're moving directly from the action to Best Romance.
Which is probably the best category.
I would have to say...
Anyways, honorable mentions are Citrus, Chio School Road. I don't know what.
You didn't watch it!
Whatever. Irazuka, So Many Colors, Cells at Work. Again,
Why?
Okay.
Dude, you don't have any idea about Chio and Ando.
Just name off the
as well as
nominees.
Red Blood Cell and White Blood Cell. There's something brewing there, man, I swear.
What are the nominees?
So we've narrowed it down
to 6?
To 6.
6.
So, I guess from the top, not even in alphabetical order, we have After the Rain.
That's kind of in alphabetical order.
But then, as a surprise, in jumps Watakoi, Love is Hard for an Otaku. Going right to a W.
Okay.
And then, after that, My First 3D Girlfriend.
Okay.
Where's your alphabetical order now?
What's next?
Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Okay.
And then Boarding School Juliet. And finally, bringing up the rear, Bloom Into You.
No pun intended.
I entered a bunch of puns into a contest, but none of them... I entered 10 puns into a contest, but I didn't get any winners. No pun intended. That's how you mess jokes up.
So, alright. What is this, best romance? Alright.
What is the best category?
Okay.
For 200.
Yeah, these are,
These are good.
These are all pretty good.
These are all pretty good.
These are pretty good.
Boarding School Juliet, it takes place in like a boarding school where you have these two factions. Honestly, the leaders of the factions they've been going to this boarding school all their lives, so they've got history of elementary school ages and stuff. And the guy Romeo has a thing for the leader of the other faction, Juliet, and he confesses to her. She's like, all right, fine, we'll try this. And hijinks ensue when they try to hide their romance from the rest of their factions.
So basically it's like it's a different take on Romeo and Juliet.
Well, yeah.
Really. But the way that Romeo ended up confessing to Juliet
was pretty good.
Was amazing.
Yes.
It was absolutely amazing.
He's not known for a character that hem and haw. He was like, I know what I want, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So once he set his mind to do it, he was full steam ahead.
Yeah. That was that was very, very good. Unfortunately, the stuff in between that beginning fight scene and then the ending fight scene was kind of
God. I can't believe we didn't have a best fight scene category.
I know. It is fun.
The ending fight scene in Boarding School Juliet is great.
It is actually.
It actually brings the entire series to a climax. It's really good.
It's amazing.
But the romance is good. The fact that they collaborate and try to hide their affection for one another because of the warring factions that they're a part of, their motivation for wanting to be with one another as far as like bringing peace and as far as wanting to do better for the world that they're in is good. When they're together and somebody comes along or happens to come along, it definitely does get funny a lot. The interactions with some of the side characters, like those two girls from the prefects at the carnival.
Yep.
They had some heartwarming moments to it.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. But I don't think it has the best romance.
No. It was again, apart from those, the beginning and the end fight scenes, it was pretty. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'm not going to call it generic or anything because I think the only thing generic about it was like the costumes.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was generic, but it was nothing surprising, I should say.
Yeah. So next one I want to bring up is my first 3D girlfriend. You have this societal outcast, otaku kind of guy who doesn't really get along with people in real life, who constantly gets bullied, who actually has a friend who wears cat ears and sounds like he hasn't even hit puberty yet. But I think they're like second years or something in high school.
Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, so they're like 16 years old or so. Mm-hmm. And I've got a friend that talks like this.
But yeah,
these guys are like literal outcasts. They're kind of losers, but the only friends that they have are each other because they can talk about their nerd stuff together, which is fine. I mean, I have nerd friends too.
But then the main character gets a 3D girlfriend who's leaving in like 6 months. So
he's a lot of grief.
Okay, yeah, but so I don't. The second season of this, which is this year.
Don't let the second. We'll talk about the first season.
I know, but it's really putting a damper on this whole thing.
So, the romance isn't really about how the characters interact with one another on my first 3D girlfriend because that stuff's kind of generic. The romance is like the strength of their bond in the face of all the adversity because both of them get grief from the normies in the high school.
True.
The MC gets framed and called like a pedo, lives through it, continues to go to school. She has some inner strength and more of character and some moral fortitude. to be able to live through that, because he doesn't really care about what their opinions are. He cares about the opinion of his girlfriend and of his friend that he knows. They pick a few others up along the way, and then develop like a little group of 6, and they all have friendships and things of that nature. So it's an okay romance. It's a good story, but it's an okay romance. I would say worth mentioning, worth watching, definitely, but not really a top contender here.
Yeah.
So did you want to pick one?
Let's Let's talk about Watakoi.
Let's not.
Okay. Let's
I'm not trying to be a bully here, man.
Let's talk about After the Rain.
So we will. I kind of wanted to bring something up here.
Okay, what are you bringing up?
I'm bringing up Bloom Into You. It's like an elephant in the room.
Okay.
I want to watch it.
Uh-huh.
I've heard not only from, people online, but, other people that I've talked to in real life that it's a good show and, like, it's a really good romance. And I wanted to include it in the list, and I was hoping to have the time to watch it in between when we made the list and now.
Mm-hmm.
And I really haven't. I'll be honest with you, and I really want to, but I haven't watched it. I'm including it here because the overwhelming overwhelming appreciation for it that I see everywhere else, from people that I've respected what they've recommended to me beforehand. Even I said this is a good romance. It's just I can't have it not be nominated.
People that you respected beforehand. So are we talking about?
I'm talking about what?
The comment section.
Well, that too. That too. No, but Mr. Spoils things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He said it was good?
He said things.
Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah, so I didn't get to finish it, so I can't really give a good opinion of it as well. So I guess the last 3 we have is After the Rain, Watakoi, and Bunny Girl Senpai.
So, yeah, whichever one of those you wanted to talk about, feel free. I just wanted to say the thing about Bloom Into You.
So, I liked After the Rain.
That's funny. I also liked After the Rain.
However, it wasn't... It was a different kind of romance, I should say. It wasn't... It didn't... It really wasn't about the romance, you know?
You don't think so?
It was about... Yeah, because they didn't... I mean, it was part of it, right? But it wasn't a... The romance was more of like a catalyst for these people to change. Is what ended up happening, you know?
Isn't that how it should work out?
But it never... Okay, well... Possibly.
Yeah.
But it was always just like a side kind of thing. Well, I guess it was... I don't know. It's hard to explain, but...
The romance was definitely interwoven into the story.
Yeah, and it wasn't really all... It didn't... I don't know.
I really liked the show. It was a good story, a good romance, but I don't think it would... Like, I also don't think romance best describes it.
Yeah,
I think we watched the evolution of an infatuation turn into a crush that finally turned into a romance.
Yeah.
So...
But I mean, like, compared to Watakoi or Bunny Girl...
Yeah, no, it's definitely top 3 this for this last year.
This season, jeez, wow.
For 2018 for romance, but it's not quite there. But it's
because Watakoi did a better job, I think, in the romance aspect of it.
Still really good though.
It is, yeah.
Certainly worth watching, and Well, the other aspects to it, we'll get to it later.
Yeah. So I think it's between Watakoi and Bunny Girl Senpai. Now,
those are tough ones, man.
The only difference that I can see with these two is that Bunny Girl Senpai was not just about the romance. It was actually more about the psychological aspects of a lot of the puberty syndromes.
Yeah, that was definitely.
And it just so happens that romance happened to play a large part in it.
Well, especially the first arc.
It wasn't really romance. It was more like love had to play a huge part in it, you know?
Yeah.
Like whether it was like sibling love or like friendship love or romantic love.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was definitely very heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first arc did kind of focus around the romance. And then the other arcs after that, the 3.5 arcs that we had, you're right, they focused on love, and they focused on character development,
Yeah.
but the romance kind of took a back seat, now that I think
it
about it.
It did. And Watakoi was really about the struggles of romantic relationships.
Especially when you're older and being a professional.
Mm-hmm. So it was very...
Let's get on Watakoi in a second.
Okay.
So, Bunny Girl, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, great story. If you're going to compare it to anything that you may have watched in the past, probably Amagami SS, except where the timeline doesn't reset.
Right.
And then the main character continues to be in a romantic relationship with the girl from the first arc, but they don't really introduce new characters. Just each character takes center stage as one of these puberty syndrome symptoms shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really well done. Honestly, his underclassman, Kouhai, will probably be one of the...
Oh, the
like personality-wise,
short-haired girl?
yeah. Personality-wise, I was more inclined to choose her than Mai, because I'm just not really a fan of getting talked down to. But Mai wasn't bad at all. Like, I don't know.
I mean, Mai was pretty great.
She was pretty great.
She was pretty great.
She wasn't my choice.
Sure.
What? No, she's not. No, she's not.
Sure.
Anzu. But Anzu was the best girl for another reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay. That being said, we'll move on to Watakoi.
Watakoi.
What a koi person you are.
That was a good show.
It was a fantastic show, actually.
It was an amazing show.
So it actually came out the same season as my first 3D girlfriend, and I enjoyed Watakoi a lot more than my first 3D girlfriend. It still deals with otaku, but not otaku that are like socially inept, that can't really identify with or interact with regular human beings like my first 3D girlfriend does. Like,
Yeah, they're more...
it's way less cringy.
Yeah. Yeah. They're still fairly introverted, but they're like introverted within their... They still had a group of friends that they socialized with.
Yeah, definitely. But on the other hand, they could also go out and interact with their regular coworkers, go out to drinks with them, have drinks with them, etc.
Well,
They didn't.
that was the group of friends.
They didn't choose to or prefer to, but they could.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it.
We're also otaku.
This is actually a show that focuses on a growing romance, and then also has a matured romance as well.
Yeah.
It has a couple that's starting to get together and know each other, and then it also has a couple who have been together for quite a while, and it shows, you know, different stages of what love is when it's starting, and then also what love is, you know,
I mean, really, it was about the struggles and difficulties
of being in love.
relationships.
Yeah. And love is hard for otaku.
And yeah,
You know?
it is hard. It's hard, you know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think my choice out of those two is gonna be Watakoi.
Yeah. Bunny Girl Senpai, the fact that you pointed out that it doesn't really focus on the romance for the entire time. The romance like takes a back burner for literally 8 episodes.
Right.
Of the 12 episode, or was it 12 or 13?
13, I think.
So, yeah, for literally 8 episodes. Same thing with After the Rain. After the Rain was...
Well, I mean, it wasn't
about-
that long, because they did end on it, on the romance aspect as well.
Well, see, that's...
Like, it's more like
of
he
course.
got... It was more like, for those episodes, he kind of got sidetracked with all these problems he was trying to solve.
Right?
And then he kind of just like at the end he snapped out of it and realized how he was making Mai feel, because he was basically just, I guess, like he was basically putting her on the side like the show was doing the whole time, or throughout that whole
Yeah,
arc,
he
you
did
know?
realize he had to focus more on Maya and not use her as like his support, so to say. But he also supported, like he supported Maya's sister. He supported his classmate who, in return for all the support she's given him, he supported his Kouhai.
Right, but that's really symbolic. Like it's symbolic of like it shows you why it went the way it did towards the end, where Mai got really upset with him. You know, like
He was taking her for granted.
yeah, like basically he was taking her for granted, and he wasn't really giving her enough attention, I guess.
Yeah,
Especially when she had to keep going out of town to do all these shoots and stuff, you know?
yeah, and then she made special efforts to like get a train to see him for an evening or to make him dinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Maya's a good girl.
Yeah, she is.
Man.
She is. But yeah, like it almost seemed very symbolic. Like the way that romance kind of was kind of sidelined for a large portion was very symbolic of their relationship, honestly. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I don't know. I think Watakoi.
Yeah, Watakoi is a really good romance, and it did maintain the romance focus for the whole series.
Yeah.
And well, going back to the 8 episodes, or not completely focusing on the romance for Bunny Girl Senpai. I think the show followed the main character, and talking about this show now shows more and better reason for his nomination as best boy, because of all the people who he helped support.
Yeah.
You know, these girls were able to lean on him, and he was able to help them through all of their issues and problems.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like they weren't grateful to him, you know. He wasn't just like some orbiter or beta, whatever. He was certainly the object of their affection.
Yeah.
You know, like little sister really loved and respected him. His Kouhai changed the universe and lived the same day over and over again to try to get him to win him over.
Mm-hmm.
His friend, who he leaned on, he was able to talk with her and get her to come to terms with another aspect of herself that she was trying to hide from.
Yeah.
You know, and that's definitely a good thing. He helped Mai and her little sister communicate better and learn who each other were a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very wholesome.
it was very wholesome. It was a good show. Watakoi was also very less wholesome. All the beer drinking in Starbucks?
I don't see a problem with that.
No, you had high schoolers versus adults, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, there wasn't really any talk of people leaving. There was no cheating. There was nobody trying to like steal somebody's one half of the couple away from the other.
Yeah.
Watakoi was also pretty wholesome, you know, and it did deal with with a couple of couples in different stages of their relationships.
Yeah.
So I thought that the main focus on romance was there for the whole series.
Yeah.
And I honestly, it was really good and heartwarming.
Yep. Yeah. So, Watakoi takes best romance.
Yeah. Surprisingly,
But Bunny Girl, very close.
Bunny Girl Juliet, pretty good.
All right. Next category is best score.
Now, score isn't the opening or closing. Score is the music that they played during the series.
Yes.
Whether-
To emphasize. To emphasize what?
To emphasize the writing and the story that in which words cannot do on their own.
Correct. And what does this do?
It brings
What does it evoke? What does it evoke?
it brings the user closer to the emotion that the writer and director are trying to convey.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. So
we have some honorable mentions for
yes.
score. The honorable mentions are Sword Art Online Alternative GGO. The music during that show was definitely apt and fitting, although the show really didn't evoke that many emotions. It wasn't designed to. We have Steins Gate,
which also had a good score.
right?
Well, most of it. I mean, it had like 10 different ending songs. I don't know. It was pretty good.
Right. We have Chio's School Road, which the music certainly matched the show, but again, there really wasn't much to.
Awful.
You didn't even watch? Have you watched any Chio's School Road?
The music matched the show, so awful music and.
You haven't even
awful
watched the
shit.
show. Chio's School Road,
Alright.
best School Road.
Alright.
Hanebado, Akane Shasu Shoujo.
The music for the fight scenes,
Yeah,
Pretty good.
It was pretty epic.
pretty good.
Bloomin' to You
Yeah.
and Boarding School Juliet.
Again, that was only because I think of those two fight scenes.
Yeah. Well, the music during them was good,
Yeah, it's fine.
and the I don't know, the music wasn't over the top in the funny parts, but that's why it's an honorable mention and not
Yeah,
like a.
yeah. Sure. So, our nominees are Violet Evergarden,
Best score, yeah.
My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan 3, Double Decker, So Many Colors, and Gridman.
Gridman. So we got a pretty decent list here.
Let's talk about Gridman.
What do you want to know?
What out of the score was it? The Power Ranger music? Was that what did it for you? Was it the Access Flash?
Access to Flash. So I don't know. Was it Power Rangers or Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad?
Both.
Both. So the music that they played when
Now, I
Gridman
know-
appeared and when they had the fights was definitely good. The other stuff was kind of like either not there or atmospheric. It wasn't really.
Yeah,
anything
I'd say there were a couple episodes where it's more towards the end is where the music, the atmospheric music got pretty good.
Right.
But I didn't really notice it anywhere else.
No, it
be
was
honest.
it was kind of background stuff. So
Yeah.
while the fight scene music was good, it was let down by the situational music that could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Attack on Titan 3.
Yeah, let's talk about Attack on Titan 3.
That score though.
Yeah. How was the score?
I mean, typical orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fitting. They got you riled up when you need to be riled up. They had tense music when there was an attack starting to
Would you
happen.
say there's ominous and foreboding sounds?
I would say when there was ominous and foreboding intent,
Intent.
then the music relayed that.
Right.
But it was just classical orchestral music.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, but I don't think it was as good as some of the others.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to cross it off.
Mm-hmm. My Hero Academia. Tell me about the score for My Hero Academia. Tell me about it.
I actually have to
It's
say,
mostly in the fight scenes, right?
it is mostly in the fight scenes. But when they do play the fight scenes, it isn't just like blatant action. It's like the music rises in the fight scenes in a crescendo as the fight scenes build.
Yeah, I mean the show does fight scenes better than I have seen in recent memory.
Yeah,
Than other shows.
All the fight scenes,
like even the manga, the fight scenes in the manga are really well done.
They aren't just like quick and over. They start slower, or they start with a premise, and then they build.
Yeah.
And the music actually matches that.
Yeah.
I think that whoever wrote the score or whatever director chose the soundboard for the score decided to ramp the music up as the action ramps up instead of give you total action music at the start of everything.
Yeah, but where I think it falls flat is the same place that Gridman falls flat.
The atmospheric music.
Yep.
Pretty bland.
It just doesn't. I don't even know if there's any. To be honest, it's mostly focused on the fights.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is an action series.
True.
But the music isn't like super memorable.
True.
So
like,
but and we're not like, this isn't the category for best action. This is for best score. And if they only have some kind of decent score during the action in a show where they only fight every 2 or 3 episodes,
right?
That isn't really anything that deserves to be overall best score.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to cross that one off based on that, like the poor use of music during slower scenes. So
so what do you want to talk about next?
Well, there's only 3 left. I mean, we've got Violet Evergarden, Double Decker, and So Many Colors.
Well, okay, so first let's talk about the pink elephant in the room.
The pink elephant in the room.
Yes. Or should I say the Fooly Cooly elephant?
Oh yeah. So
FLCL, the score in FLCL was done by the Pillows again,
as well as the sequences, opening and closing.
Yeah, and the Pillows.
The Pillows music matches the show so well.
Basically, I think I didn't want to include it in these categories because it honestly would have taken all of the categories just because, well, at least between us, because we enjoy the Pillows so much.
I enjoy the Pillows, but I don't like Fooly Cooly.
Right.
I can't.
But you can't ignore the fact that it matches.
No,
the style.
I can't ignore the fact that it matches the style. It's a dichotomy, right?
Right.
So, I don't think that in order for a score to be included and to be considered top, you have to think it's good and it matches the show, and you have to also like the show and think that it emphasizes the show.
Well,
and those are all
have
things
to
that
like
the Pillows
the show.
music does to Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
Or does for Fooly Cooly. But yeah, I mean, you have a single band that's, I mean, I don't know, is the case here where they're writing songs specifically for Fooly Cooly? Or are the producers from Fooly Cooly just using songs out of the band's, notebook?
I believe that they write it for it.
Okay. So you have custom-made music by a good band that isn't listening to the director. They're taking they're making their own interpretation. So honestly, the way that music is done puts it in a whole different class versus having the director chooses the music.
Yeah, I mean it's really like S class if we were to give it tiers. To be honest.
Well, I mean, I'd be like that universe in One Punch Man, and just be like, sure, it's S-class music, but like you failed this other score, so here you have a lower class.
Sure.
All right, so
but yeah, so that's part of the reason why we didn't include that in these last 3 categories.
yeah,
is because of...
And these last three categories, just so you know, don't include romance or anything like that. It's the three music categories.
Music, yeah.
The score and then the two categories we have after this one. So I actually kind of want to talk about Double Decker.
Okay, let's talk about Double Decker.
Double Decker's...
Because I really like the music in Double Decker.
So do I. I don't like the premise of the show.
No, not really.
Or the characters. The art's really good, but the music in the show, whether it's during conversation, whether it's during exposition or character reaction, it fits, and it also ramps up and does well during action sequences. When they're in a stakeout and you're watching a villain do something, when it's a tense situation, the music's tense. It's all done very well.
Very well.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't know who did the score on it, but it was definitely a top score.
It is a pretty good score.
Right. But the genre is more jazzy than anything else.
Yeah. Which I personally like.
Right. Now, it's not like Yoko Kanno tier jazz, but because jazz is used so rarely in anime, and this jazz was used so well, that's why I really like it. Mm-hmm. So, that's where I really like the score in this series.
Yeah, it was good. So, Violet Evergarden, how did you feel about that score? I want you to convince me why Violet Evergarden.
Why the Violet Evergarden belongs here with the score that it has?
Yes.
Well, the score definitely fit the time period.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the time period of what we could have, people are anachronistic. Was it just post World War One, in between World War One and World War Two? Mm-hmm. I'd say 20s, 30s, 1920s, 1930s Europe. From all the technology that I saw, the architecture, etc.
Yeah.
So you still had a lot of classical music. I mean, sure, over in America you had a lot of big band and speakeasies and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But Europe was more stuck to its own roots. And the music during scenes where there are emotional things happening, as far as when the colonel released her, I want you to go and live. That was very emotional music. It was climactic. It was whenever the music was used, and it was used often. It actually fit the scene really well.
Yeah.
So, pretty decent coverage as far as the background score working with what the storyteller was trying to evoke and convey.
Yeah.
So,
I guess what I'm trying to get here, or to get to, is
was it better?
Is it better than So Many Colors? Because So Many Colors did something very similar.
It's not better than So Many Colors. I don't think it's better than Doug and Grill.
Yeah, I mean, I would only... Yeah.
I mean, two very different genres.
Yeah.
But, the coverage on Doug and Grill, really good score, man.
Yeah, it is.
Violet Evergarden, good score, don't get me wrong.
Not only with Double Decker, but they have, the score that they have, it's not just in important scenes like Violet Evergarden was, right?
Yeah, it's
in, the scenes where they're doing nothing, they just have a little jazz thing going on to just kind of emphasize what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's very, very fitting. However, there's something that I think that music is supposed to do and does well that didn't really have an opportunity to do with Doug and Krill, that it did have an opportunity to do with So Many Colors. And that is something we brought up earlier.
What is it?
Evoke emotion.
Are you trying to say that it is evocative?
The music in So Many Colors is evocative. It actually fits, fits triumphantness. It fits sadness. It fits romance.
Well, it's not only just that. It's also the fact that they also know when to not play music too.
Yeah. Well, that, and then the music, the way the music's used as well. So they actually have breaks in the series where some of the magic will happen, and the magic is the focal point and not the characters. The characters are reacting to the magic, but the magic is what you should be paying attention to, and that feeling, that emotion that this magic is evoking in the characters is brought to a lot more forefront by the music.
Yeah.
And they'll actually stop the series for or stop the episode for 3 or 4 minutes just to play a song and show you how important and how touched this character is.
Yeah, and and some of the magic that they do and they focus on, it's not really anything impressive or extravagant.
Yeah.
It is something as simple as making something glow, right?
Yeah.
And the music really forces the importance of that scene and that magic and why it's happening.
And the relationship, like what it does for the character.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'm gonna have to honestly say, because of the use of the song of the score, and it wasn't just pop or J-pop. They mixed it with classical music as well. Mm-hmm. Honestly, best score, I would say NA, but JA, 2018.
Sure.
Best score.
I don't think. Okay. Yes. All right. Yep. I'll agree. So Many Colors gets best score.
Yeah. Double Decker is really close too.
Yeah, Double Decker is really close.
And I hate that show.
Yeah. It hates you.
That's true.
Next category.
It is best opening.
Best
opening. So, there was a lot of shows that happened in 2018.
You could almost say that there were
over 100 shows.
Over 100 shows.
Yeah, there were.
There were. I counted them.
Each of them have their own opening sequence.
They do. And ending sequence. Some of them had multiple ending sequences.
Well, some of them had multiple openings as well. If you have, say for example, half a season and one season for spring and the next season airs in the summer. A lot of times they change the opening and closing credits for that stuff.
Steins Gate had 10 endings. Just let you know.
But on the last episode, did it end then too? Maybe it's 11 endings.
Sure.
Okay. So,
all right. So what did we nominate?
Well, this is also in no particular order of importance.
Yeah, I put it in order.
Well,
anyways,
that's you, buddy.
What is your order?
It's the first order.
Okay. Continue.
So these are some of the best songs that we found, going through and just listening to mixes and picks. I'm actually going to include a couple of the mixes that we listened to find these. It
will be in the description.
Below. Somebody else has put a lot of other work into the mix and into these lists. So if you do listen to them, be sure to give them a like and let them know that you appreciate the work that they did, because the video editing, it takes time and effort to do. So and I appreciate them myself. So I want to give them the credit for the work they did.
Okay.
That being said, the first song in our best opening category is it's from Black Clover. It's opening 4. Guess Who Is Back by Kodakumi. That show, that opening, the music was really well done. It was very tight. It was executed well, and then the animation matched the music really well.
Yeah, the timing.
Yes.
Was very well done.
I think that they had this. They picked a song and then they animated the opening sequence to that song,
which is the correct way to go about it.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Fully
it depends.
Yeah,
it depends.
So, the next on the list is the Wataku opening. It's just called Opening by Sumika, and it's actually part of a 4-minute song that they just spliced out of. So that minute and a half that you see at the beginning of the show it's part of something larger.
And again, they animated to match it.
Yeah, and the animation actually really matched the whole aesthetic and the attitude of the show.
Really good.
So
It's
you know,
pretty good.
there was a couple of different aspects to why we picked these. It's not just the music, and it's not just the animation quality or style during it. It's how well it matches the show. If we, that's what we try to do as far as using our for our criteria.
Yeah.
And if there's something that stood out to us as, hey, this music was good, or hey, this animation was good, and the music just went along for the ride, we'll try to be honest and say, okay, we just picked this based on X. So the next one was from the show Food Wars. It was Symbol by Luck Life. And that was a pretty good opening, man. It got me a little pumped up.
Yeah, I think the best part about it was how it had nothing to do with the show.
Well, yeah. I mean, they still animated for it though. They used clips from the show.
No, I'm talking. It was where he's walking a desert. They had swords. They made it look like
Oh yeah,
like an action opening.
They did. They made it look like an epic story.
Yeah.
And while it is, the epic
yeah.
story has nothing to do with what their animation was.
But it kind of did.
But with as long as this show's going on so far, like the second part of season 3, and this is like the fifth. It's like the third plate, but it's like the fifth installment of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You get a chance to play around some, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Next one is from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The song is called Fool by the Peggies.
That was a good song.
It is. Like, every time that opening guitar riff pops up and you see Senpai jogging along right by the light rail by that train, like, I just get so excited.
I know. Yeah.
It really perks me up. I like it.
Yeah, and I like the way it ends too.
With the show?
No, the end of the opening.
Yeah, the end of the opening starts with the episode, so I'm pretty happy with that myself.
Okay. What is next? After the Rain.
Yeah.
That was Nostalgic
Rainfall
by Chico with Honeyworks.
Yeah. Chico with Honeyworks actually has done a few anime sequences, but Nostalgic Rainfall actually, I think, fit the show and the attitude of the show pretty well. Like, they chose the song good.
Yeah.
It's a very clean sound. And you also have a very innocent, clean main character.
Yeah.
And, she's not like... She's eschewing her old life, and her friends still want to be a part of her life, and she wants to be a part of her friend's life, but she's really thinking about, man, I want this person who I think is a good person to be around me. And what can I do to make that happen? And so
we forgot to talk about? We forgot to talk about how in After the Rain, everything important happened after the rain.
You're not wrong. And I think that that's symbolic. But I even think that the title is more symbolic than that, because I think that both of these characters, with her injury and his divorce, they both were going through a storm in their lives. And having each other in each other's life is like the sun breaking through the clouds.
After the rain.
After the rain.
Alright, anyways.
So
the song fits actually really well with that whole theme.
They picked a good song, and they picked they animated really well for that song.
Yeah, the style was pretty unique.
Yeah, for the aesthetic of the show.
Yeah.
And actually the attitude of the characters in the opening matched pretty well their attitude of their development throughout the show. You have her going along with life, dancing through, noticing him and wanting to get close to him, and he's like, it'll flash back to him, and he's like in the middle of something, and he turns around and notices her, and he's doing something else, and he turns around and notices her, and she's getting closer and closer every time. So I think the animation really matches how that story progresses and moves forward.
Yeah.
So, good song pick, good animation. Top picks there. Next is Goblin Slayer with Rightfully by Millie. And I gotta tell you, from the first episode of Goblin Slayer, when they first was it the first episode? Did they even have that?
No, they didn't have.
They had it on the second episode. So I had watched. I watched the first 2 episodes on the second week. So I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, that was pretty deep. And they have some recap and some new story coming into episode 2, and I really like the way that the orchestra music kind of fades in, showing the 2 main characters as far as like Goblin Slayer and the Priestess against the Starry Night. It adds gravitas, like it adds some gravity to their characters and their situation, and then the song changes tempo entirely and changes to a lot, something a lot more speedy,
right,
and a lot more technical.
Yeah.
So and the music, the vocals are good too. She hits every note.
Last one is My Hero Academia, and it's Odd Future by Uberworld.
I keep my ideals. Fitting.
That was a good song.
Very fitting.
It was a very fitting song.
Yeah. I was every time that song played when I watched the series, I let it play. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the same for Goblin Slayer, and the same for After the Rain. And Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah. And
honestly, for almost all of these.
Yeah.
But these are the shows. These are the openings. Even though I know what it is, even though I've seen it like 6 times already,
it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, and it actually gets me more in the groove and in the mood to be able to get back in touch with who the characters are, what they're doing.
Yep.
I think that like the opening has a lot to do with how much of an enjoyment you can have out of a show.
Yeah.
And if the opening matches like the animation and the music, that just makes the show that much better. And My Hero Academia had a fantastic opening as well.
It did.
This season.
So, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to say that this is the only category where we couldn't narrow it down to 7, or narrow it down to 6. We had to settle on 7.
That's true.
And I say we move on to the next category.
All right.
All right. So, next category.
Best ending.
Oh, really? There is no joke. I don't want to eliminate any of these songs. They're great.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. I mean, they're all really well done.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the songs are all great.
The animation's on point.
Yep.
Everything matches. Like there's nothing. There's nothing that's out of sync.
There isn't a clear winner.
There isn't a clear loser in those bunches either.
Yeah.
There's no song that doesn't fit its show and doesn't fit the characters and where that show's going.
Right.
And there's no animation that doesn't fit the song and or doesn't fit the series.
Yeah. Yeah, and at that point it's basically we're just coming down to our own bias to decide.
Right. So I mean, sure. We
okay, how about this? Let's I'll pick my favorite.
Oh my god.
And you pick your favorite. Okay? Alright, 1, 2, 3, go.
After the Rain.
Wow.
What'd you pick? Bunny Girl Senpai?
Maybe.
I knew it.
No, wait. Watakoi. I can't even decide. Alright, go next. Best ending.
How dare you? Like, hey, let's have you pick one, then I can't even pick one. The hypocrisy is real. Hypocrisy is real.
I mean,
thank you, America.
You know who I am, right?
Yeah. Schulztie-Sama.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Just making sure.
All right. Best ending.
Best ending.
So.
Or closing.
Best closing. Best closing ending. Ending closing. / closing. So first one.
This isn't how the series or season ends. This is like the ending music, just so you know.
Best closing sequence.
Yes.
Okay. So first one we have is Sword Art Online GGO. To See the Future by Tomori Kusunoki.
Yep. That's a good one.
That was a pretty good one.
Next we have After the Rain. It's Refrain from Aimer.
That was Blooming to You. Wasn't it?
I didn't write that down. Did you write Blooming to You down?
Yeah, I wrote Blooming to You.
Did you write After the Rain down?
No.
Well, we communicated great.
Okay. Moving on. Alright, so we'll just skip that.
I'm keeping After the Rain in there.
Alright.
Yes.
Next. Literally.
You're going to hate me. But just watch it on its own. I swear, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Conception. Desires by
Manami
Nuakura.
Nuakura. So, this closing.
Literally
good music.
No.
Whatever. Go ahead.
It is the end. The ending is so good because you know it's over.
That's not the only reason. That makes it sweeter.
Okay.
That's not the only reason. The music is actually good. And
the animation,
just as low quality as the series. But what it's animating is the best part.
It is high tier. S class. It's S class animation. Has nothing to do with any of the smut of the shows.
That's true.
Anyways,
this is honestly, oh my god, I can't believe I'm nominating anything from Conception. But this has to be this is like the only good thing. So yeah, closing, Desires by Manami Numakura.
Next is Takai-san, AM 1100, I guess is that supposed to be? By Ri Takahashi.
It's such a very, very clean song. It's so fitting to the show.
I guess
it's wholesome.
Yeah, I guess
the girl's voice is a little. I mean, she sounds a little younger. I mean, that's fine because it's a show about young people.
It sounded pretty generic to me. It was pretty generic to me.
It was, but I don't know.
Nothing really happened.
The closing sequence is Takashi just like riding a bike,
I guess.
So I mean, I don't know. It's wholesome. If you don't like it, I mean, I guess you're not a wholesome person.
No. So cross that off.
Whoa! Already.
And also the mistake. Next is Banana Fish Ending 2. That is Read by Survive, Said the Prophet.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Now, that being said, this one was chosen specifically just for the song. I have not watched the series. I don't even really care about the like whether or not the closing sequence animation matches. I haven't watched the series.
Yeah,
it's just a good song.
It is a pretty good song.
Yeah, I mean,
it is a good song. But that's really all I had going for it.
I mean, so you don't have to watch the closing sequence, but you should definitely check out Red by Survive Said the Prophet because it's a good song.
Yes.
There's a free plug for you, Red.
Next, Red, the free plug for the song. Red. Okay, anyways, Double Decker is next. Buntline Special by Vic Blanca.
Yeah. That's an ending sequence.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's very punky, like punkish.
It reminds me of
the Ramones.
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys beats the Ramones.
Huh?
Whatever. To me, it's very punkish, and I don't know if Beastie Boys is maybe early Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you wouldn't know that was the only Beastie Boys I listened to, but
no, I wouldn't because you didn't tell me.
That's true.
Like it's nothing like Intergalactic at all. Just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it reminds me of 70s.
Normally, when I say a band, and if it's a band that had multiple stages that it went through in its lives, it's usually the good stage that I'm mentioning.
Good is subjective.
Sure.
There's
sure.
Early, late, and mid.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me. Okay, no, that's okay.
What? Some bands actually didn't get good until like their second or third album.
Uh-huh.
Like Maiden.
Okay, not everything about bands is subjective. Let's just be clear. Let's be clear about how.
If you're into like, you know, being a yo boy and MTV Raps and stuff, I'm sure you're gonna like Intergalactic a lot more than you like, you know, early Beastie Boy stuff. Dude, it's subjective. It's all about what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, objective is like if a band has no skill, they can be objectively bad.
True.
If they have no skill with their instruments. Subjective is whether or not you like what they're doing. So that being said, Double Decker Buntline Special by Vicky Blanca. It's actually not a bad song.
It's a really good song.
Not the best song in the world, but
It's the best song ever.
I don't think so.
This is the best song. Alright, what's better than Buntline Special?
Red survives said the prophet. Wow.
Dang it.
Great retort.
Dang it.
Dang it.
Desires by Mommy Not
It's actually not bad. Oh my god, if you're gonna watch anything from Conception, watch the closing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So that's
Okay, so did
pretty decent.
Does GGO just win?
Did GTO I was actually gonna be rooting for Conception.
You would root for Conception.
But I mean, again, you know, if we disagree, GGO is not a bad one to win. That was a really good song, and I think I'm more happy with the idea of a song from Conception being good and the animation being good.
Well, I think,
or at least pleasing.
I think out of all of them, I think GGO, that song did the best.
Yeah.
With both the animation and the song.
Yeah, the overall production as well as far as like fitting.
Yeah.
The ending for GGO worked best. Although, while the music for the Conception ending isn't bad,
it's not great.
It's not the best in the world. The animation does. The animation would make you think that the series is better than it actually is.
You just like
I like what that video
the
is.
BDSM bears dancing.
Whoa! They're not BDSM, are they?
I could have sworn that they had leather on them. Some sort of chaps. Leather chaps.
That doesn't necessarily have to be BDSM, does it?
They were shirtless.
So are a lot of wrestlers.
Alright, so bear strippers?
Let's not look too deep into it, okay? Like,
Sure.
What I saw was like circus bears. That's the first thing that went to my
Very
mind.
muscular circus bears, correct. Yes.
Well, you have to be muscular to do all the tricks that
no,
we're doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. And you have to be shirtless as well.
Oh my god! Do bears really wear shirts
And
though?
also,
Not including Winnie the
I
Pooh.
don't even think they were wearing pants.
Dude, I don't think the bears wear shirts in the Bears Bears either. Well, actually, no, the kid does.
Yeah.
Pa Bear just wears overalls, I think. Does Smokey the Bear wear a shirt?
He didn't. He had overalls.
Yeah.
Anyways, so GGO, yeah.
Yeah,
Best
GGO, winner.
Yep.
Winmar. So, a little bit of a recap here. For our purposes, best girl, Anzu. Best boy, was it Sakura? It was Sakura.
Who?
Sakura Suzugawa from Money Girl Senpai.
Right. Yeah.
Winner for best drama was So Many Colors, yeah?
Yeah.
Winner for best comedy?
Asobi Asobase.
Yes, very much so. Winner for best action? Was that Goblin Slayer? It was Goblin Slayer, wasn't it?
Was it Goblin Slayer?
Come on. He didn't... Goblin Slayer was definitely best action. Winner for best romance was... Watako, yeah.
Yeah.
Winner for best score was So Many Colors.
Mm-hmm.
And winner for best opening was all of them. Actually, scratch that. The winner for best opening was you, because you get to listen to all these good songs. And the winner for best closing What was SAOGGO to see the future by Tomo Customer Kazunoko?
Kuzunoki?
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 Kuzunoki. Tomo Kuzunoki.
Tomori Kuzunoki.
Yeah. That's probably how you pronounce your name. I think I'm doing pretty good for not actually speaking that language natively.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. So there you have it, folks. These are Sama X Kouhai's picks for Best of Anime 2018.
Correct.
I don't think we had a single category that coincided with Crunchyroll's.
Yeah, we did.
What
do you mean?
Like, as far as, like, winners.
Oh.
And
well,
even as far as, like, yeah, that's true. Well, the majority of our nominees are different than what theirs were.
Well, I guess we can watch that awards thing and then get very upset about it and then talk about it.
Can we talk about it while we eat ice cream? Because I like ice cream.
We're probably going to need ice cream afterwards anyways, so yeah.
I have mochi.
Oh, you have mochi?
Yeah, I got strawberry mochi and chocolate mochi.
Alright, well, on that note,
let's go get some mochi.
we're going to get some mochi.
See y'all next time.